Hello colleagues, and welcome back to the channel, guys, once again for another video on the channel where we shall be discussing a host of topics from the futures of Vitor Roque and Ferran Torres, as well as the futures of Ronald Araujo and Frenkie de Jong, and also some news on the transfer front, more to come on Angelo Stiller as well, amongst the host of other topics that I shall be discussing today. So without wasting much time, let's get straight to it. But if I do begin with some injury news roundup, now it has been reported that Barca striker Robert Lewandowski has been injured while on international duty with the Polish national team while preparing for the upcoming Euros in Germany. And now, while it was first feared that he may have been missing an extended period of time, now it has been confirmed that Lewandowski will only be missing Poland's first game of the group stage, where they shall be facing the Netherlands. So Lewandowski would miss the game against the Netherlands, but is likely to be back for the rest of the group games and also the rest of the tournament, depending of course on how Poland progress in the tournament. And now, speaking of games against the Netherlands, one player who would definitely be missing not just that game but also the whole of the tournament is Barca's Dutch midfielder Frenkie de Jong. So he has once again failed to recover from the ankle injury he sustained while playing for Barca in the second Clásico of the season against Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu. Frenkie had hopes of being able to recover in time for the tournament, but after observing his recovery pace and the progress of his recovery, it has now been confirmed that Frenkie would sit out the rest of the tournament, which is bad news for the Netherlands. But unfortunately, I think it's good news for Barca, because Frenkie would sit out the whole of the tournament and also rest while having a full preseason under Barca's new manager Hansi Flick. So if I do move on now to some news on the transfer front, there has been a report in the Spanish media in the last 24 to 48 hours, and it has come in from a reliable source in the form of Gerard Romero, who has reported that Premier League side Newcastle United have submitted a bid for Barca's Spanish forward Ferran Torres. Now, remember, Ferran Torres was signed in January 2022 in Xavi's first transfer window from Manchester City for a whooping sum of 55 million euros. Yeah, you heard it right, 55 million euros plus a potential 10 million euros in add-ons, which brings the total figure up to 65 million euros. And now Ferran is attracting interest from Newcastle, who have submitted a bid of 15 million euros plus 5 million euros in add-on. I would really be surprised if Barca consider this low ball offer, because I know Ferran can be a frustrating player to watch at times, but he can also be unplayable at times. He had brilliant games while in Barca. He also had frustrating games, but he is a player that you clearly know that there is some quality in there. He is a confidence player, and if he gets a system and coach that gets the best out of him, I believe Ferran would be a very, very quality addition to any side. He's still only 24 years old, and he still has some years remaining on his contract. So I'm really surprised to see such a low ball offer. And once again, I want to add that I will really be surprised if Barca really accept this offer, because I don't believe his stock has fallen so low. But then again, it's the world of football. Let's see how it goes. Another player who has been linked with a potential exit from Barca this summer is Brazilian striker Vitor Roque, who joined the club from Atlético Paranaense in December 2023. So Roque's agent came out in the latter stages of the last season to complain that his client was not being featured heavily enough in Barca, and he was threatening that if the club does not want to use him, then the player would be open to leaving the club on a permanent basis. Mind you, he emphasized on a permanent basis. However, after it sparked some reaction from within the club, he changed his tone a bit by saying that the player was just frustrated and he would appreciate the opportunity to fulfill his dream of playing for the Blaugrana. However, that has not stopped interest from coming for the services of Roque, who has earlier attracted interest from Premier League sides as well as Portuguese giants Porto and Italian giants Juventus. A new name has come into the fray for the services of Vitor Roque in the form of Barca's Spanish rivals Atletico de Madrid. Now it is believed that Atletico would be willing to do a swap deal involving Joao Felix for Vitor Roque with Barca. However, Barca would not want such a deal, as Atletico wants an outright swap deal, which it means that both players will just be an exchange and both teams can keep both players and do whatever they want to do with them. Mind you, Atletico had earlier demanded that Barca come up with a whopping sum of 60 million euros to persuade them to sell Joao Felix. However, it is no secret that Barca are in no position, or are they willing to even come up with such a figure at this time. Barca would be willing to offer a straight loan swap whereby both players go on loan to Atletico and Barca respectively for a year, and afterwards they can now decide whatever they want to do with them. Two players that Barca would definitely not be willing to sell this summer are Frenkie de Jong and Ronald Araujo. It has been reported that since Hansi Flick flew into the city earlier this week and met with the sporting director Deco, both of them have decided that Araujo and De Jong would be very vital pieces of the Blaugrana project going forward, and it will only take a gigantic offer to persuade the club to sell the duo. Now, the reports I'm hearing in the Spanish media is that Barca are pointing to the cases of Enzo Fernandez and Moise Caicedo that Chelsea signed from Benfica and Brighton and Hove Albion for 121 million euros and 133 million euros respectively, and they are saying that if those players could cost those amount of money, then they definitely believe that Araujo and De Jong in this case should also cost similar money before they can even consider selling these two players. Now, I want to point out the fact that these are two players that have their contracts running out in the summer of 2026, and they have been locked in contract talks with the club. With little or no progress on that front, it is highly unlikely to know what will happen in this case. With De Jong, we've heard that he is due 20 million euros next season and 24 million euros in the last year of his contract. This is due to payments and wages that he had deferred from the previous years after the effects of COVID-19, and now he is expected to make those monies back in this final 2 years of his contract. However, the club are offering him a new deal with significantly different terms, and that is where the problem is coming in. De Jong, for his part, knows that if he goes into the final year of his contract, the club will be under pressure to either sell him or risk losing him for free at the expiration of his contract. And I can also say that it's the same situation with Ronald Araujo, because there is a contract offer that has been sent to his agent and he has not signed the contract. So if Barca seriously wants to keep these two players, they definitely have to find a way around their contract situation, because the more it lingers, the more the position of the club weakens in the negotiation table with other clubs, because definitely clubs will be snooping around the services of these two players. Now, if we do move on from potential outgoings to some potential incomings in the club, we have heard in the last video we also discussed about Barca's interest in the services of VFB Stuttgart midfielder Angelo Stiller, who has had a brilliant season in the just concluded Bundesliga season and is attracting interest from Barca. We said in the last video that we do not know how much Stuttgart may be demanding for his services, but right now, with news that we've heard during this week, it is now being reported that Stiller is likely to cost Barca in the region of around 25 million euros for Stuttgart to consider selling him. And that is a similar figure to what we've heard that Mikel Merino, another midfielder who has been linked with joining Barca, Merino is likely to cost around 25 million euros as well. He has a 60 million euros release clause in his Real Sociedad contract, but it's a contract that has 1 year left on it, and if he doesn't sign a renewal this summer, Real Sociedad risk losing Merino on a free transfer next season. So it is said that they are willing to do business for around 25 to 30 million euros. With these figures that we are hearing, it's becoming clearer that that could just be the budget that Barca have set out for a midfield signing this summer. It's early days, but I believe from what I get from this information, it seems that Merino is an option from the board, while Stiller is the option that Flick is projecting. So it remains to be seen which player joins Barca this summer. Personally, I think Stiller is the kind of profile that we do not currently have in our midfield, and if the coach said he wants Stiller, I believe we should be listening to the coach, because we've heard severally before when a lot of news has come out to say the coach doesn't want this player, this player was imposed on the coach by the board. I think we should be moving past stories like this. So if the coach wants this player, please and please, we should be trying to get that player for the coach. So let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comment section down below. Guys, what do you make of Newcastle's reported interest and bid for Ferran Torres? What do you make of Atletico Madrid's offer for Vitor Roque? Do you think Barca should do a direct swap deal involving Joao Felix and Vitor Roque, or should they stick to a straight loan deal? And who would you prefer that Barca signs for the midfield position? Do you prefer Angelo Stiller, or would you prefer the Spanish international Mikel Merino? Please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. If you do enjoy the video, please do us a favor, turn on your notification bell and leave a like on the video, and also ensure that you subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss further videos on the channel. Thank you for always tuning in. As always, Visca El Barça, and I will see you on the next one. Adios.